Hello and welcome to Fashion Report Friday, the weekly video series trying to get you the most MGP humanly possible within the Mandeville Gold Saucer every Friday when judging begins for the Fashion Report minigame. This is week 247. I nearly forgot what week we were on, and the clue this time around, the main one, is Piratical Painter. The individual clues for items include chapeau de choice for our helm, simple is best for our body, superbly spiked for our hands, and shivering timbers for our legs. In this video we have a 100 score, the easiest 80 with dies, and then the absolute easiest 80. So without further ado, let's look at that 100 score. Alrighty then, for a 100 score, this is what I did. So first of all, I went for the white beret. There are many berets that will work for this helm, so let's show you a few of those. The sheer list of available berets that would work include things like the velveteen beret, which is a really basic level 29 tailor recipe, for example. We've got the red beret, we've got the green beret, we've got stuff like woolen berets that would work, and white beret, which is the one I've used, which is a level 42 craft. We've got the felt beret. You know, there's quite a lot in this game, and there's also some that are attached to other activities, but these are the easiest to get. I would say that the velveteen beret is probably the cheapest to purchase because it's the lowest level, but that's not necessarily a fact because different servers obviously have different values on different mats, and also the full item might be cheaper. But it was cheapest to probably get the white beret on my server, which is ultimately my decision there. So that item's not too bad. So let's look at the chest. This is the spring shirt. So just as a bit of a reiteration, if you don't know, Kasumi's vendor option, you will actually get other stuff the more times you do Fashion Report. So if you don't have access to this and you're like, where is the spring shirt? Well, this essentially unlocks after you have done 300 points cumulative. Okay, so you don't have to get 100 points every week, 3 weeks in a row to get this, although that would work. You could get, 80 points, 80 points, 80 points, and so on until it counts up to 300. Sadly, there is no way of internally or in the game actually checking how many points cumulatively. You've just kind of got to keep check on that mentally, or just wait until it shows up on the vendor. But if you were wondering how you got that, that's how that unlocks, which is also why we offered an alternative. But a spring shirt costs 8,910 gil. This is equipable by all classes in the game level 1 and above. There are some alternatives, however, that are more accessible if you haven't done that. Good alternatives for the shirt that I'm using, the spring shirt, would be something like the Falconer shirt, for example, which is a level 60 1-star clothcraft recipe, which is equipable by all classes in the game level 1 and above. We also have the access to like the Rami shirt, for example, which is again equipable by all classes in the game level 1 and above, which is a level 56 recipe, basic, from Taylor. And then we have survival shirts as well. All of these will work. So the basic survival shirt here, obviously equipable by all classes level 1 and above. These are the basic mats. We've got the extreme survival shirt will work, and the linen survival shirt, which is a level 35 craft. So honestly, there are great alternatives if you don't have access to Kasumi's vendor option, but if you do, you're going to spend overall probably a lot less gil by going with the spring shirt. But yeah, if you've already unlocked the spring shirt, I would go for that because obviously it's a vendor item, but if not, those alternatives should really help you. For the gloves then, I went for the toadskin arm guards. These are equipable by level 30 and above Disciple of War. I went for these because I believe they are the lowest level that will work for this slot. But yes, this is where you get those. So if you're looking to get a hold of those toadskin arm guards, simply come to any low-level city-state armor vendor, such as the one I'm at, Gwalter, the Battlecraft Armorer, in the Sapphire Avenue Exchange in Uldar's Steppes of Thal. If we talk to him and go to the Disciple of War tab, and then levels 30 to 39, and scroll down just a little bit, we'll find the toadskin arm guards for 2,242 gil. This is probably the best option. It does, however, lock you to Disciple of War, but as far as I'm concerned, a lot of the other alternatives that are suggested that people have brought up are also Disciple of War, and most of them are much higher level as well, so this is probably going to be your best bet for this slot. And finally, we have the Pagos Gaskins. This is something you can get from, obviously, Pagos lock boxes from Eureka. You can also get this from a market board as well, trade from other players. And I think there are a couple other ways of getting it as well. I don't remember exactly. But yeah, I think it's Heaven on High spoils, right? I think you can get from those. I can't remember. But even so, these are equipable by all classes in the game, level 1 and above. And of course, you could, you know, go and source these from different servers. When it comes as alternatives to those Pagos Gaskins, we actually have some really good options that we can craft, including the Arachne Gaskins of Striking and Scouting. Both of these have the same mats, which are 4-star recipes for level 50 Clothcraft, as you can see the materials on screen. We also have the Kiramu Brace. That will work for gold as well, which is a 4-star level 50 Clothcraft recipe again, locking to ranged if you wanted to equip that with Kiramu leather. And we also have the Griffin leather brace of both striking and scouting, which obviously lock you between striking and scouting, which use the same materials, which is level 60 2-star. Those are some of the other good alternatives, but you might be able to get on the market board if you so wish to desire. And obviously now we've got cross data center, it might be even easier for you to pick these up for a relatively cheap price. Usually the market's flooded with these, but yeah, very easy. So the 100 isn't too bad this week. The majority of that is very low level, crafted, or vendor purchase. So let's move on to the dye options then. Alright, as you can see, we have any weapon dyed pearl white dye in the game, any helm in the game dyed salmon pink, any chest in the game gunmetal black, then we have mesa red on any gloves in the game, and then we have storm blue dye on both our legs and feet, any in the game. As you can see, I'm just using the latest glamour set as a template here. Make sure you have something equipped in every slot, including your right side though, and then you'll get 80 guaranteed. The dyes aren't too bad, but the gunmetal black and pearl white let it down slightly. Let's move on to the easiest 80 then. If you're looking for a way of getting the dyes very easily, simply come back to Uldar, go to the Sapphire Avenue Exchange over here, and instead of going to Gwalta, that would be over here, you simply go from the Sapphire Avenue Exchange, teleport, go to the right, and you will find Nanabe, the independent merchant. On here you can get a couple of the dyes we're going to need. So we're going to need Mesa Red dye, so we're going to pick up some of that. As you can see, it's 216 gil a pot. Salmon Pink, which is here for 40 gil a pot. This is the most cost-effective way of getting the dyes, and these two dyes are very easily vendor purchased. Okay, so when we're approaching an easy 80, there are obviously a number of ways that we could do this just by combining different stuff that worked in the 100 as well as the dye section, which is basically what I'm doing here. But the one that I would recommend, if you have access to it, would be to use the spring shirt, obviously from Kasumi in the Gold Saucer. If you've got access to that, equip that, and then combine any helm in the game and dye that salmon pink, which is that vendor purchase dye, as I told you, and then Mesa Red on any gloves in the game, which is also vendor purchase dye. So 2 vendor purchase dyes on your helm, on your gloves, and then equip the spring shirt. Now, if you don't have access to the spring shirt, one of the other things that could work is instead of having the spring shirt equipped, have the Pagos Gaskins equipped, or another alternative to that would be to have any of the other chest pieces equipped instead of the spring shirt, such as the Falconer's shirt. That will work as well, but mix and match. Basically, you want 2 dyes on separate piece and then 1 piece that is like a best in slot piece. You could just go for as many dyes as you want and then swap a couple of pieces out or something, or 1 per piece. But this is probably the easiest to do, I would think. Just getting a chest piece and then 2 dyes. But yeah, it's totally up to you. Hopefully this is helpful. A link in the description of this video will take you to the Reddit thread where this is theorized by people each and every week. Of course, many thanks to the larger community for solving a lot of these issues. I could not do this alone, obviously. And for the most part, I just put these videos together to help you guys. So hopefully that was helpful. All right, much love. Enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy your weekend. And I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.